The 4% rule can wreck an early retirement. So, what is the safer withdrawal rate and why? The 4% rule is the most quoted and also most unreliable number when it comes to retirement. For early retirees, it can hand you exactly the wrong thing, which is false confidence. Meanwhile, millions are being forced or nudged into early retirement with government reductions in force and also corporate layoffs, a trend that we know is not going to slow down. The rule says withdraw 4% of your portfolio the first year and then adjust for inflation after. But actual retirement asks a harder question and breaks three of the rule's assumptions at once. The timeline can stretch to 35 to 40 years instead of 30. It ignores the healthcare gap before Medicare when your costs are going to be the highest. It's going to assume general inflation around 3% when healthcare can climb 6% or more. Borrow a rule built for a shorter, later retirement and apply it to a 40-year one, and the math is going to quietly stop working, usually right when you can least afford to find out. So, what's the right withdrawal rate to avoid running out of money 10 years early? The longer the money has to last, the more a small early overdraw is going to compound into a real shortfall. For retirement starting at 55 to 60, start lower. I'm talking 3 to 3.5% versus 4. The less buying power you have due to inflation, the more money you need just to cover the basics. So I want you to assume you need 10% more every year for your regular expenses. So we're talking about rent, gas, utilities, groceries, home, personal care items. And before that withdrawal rate scares you, here's the part that changes everything is the rate only applies to the gap. It's not your total spending. So your portfolio doesn't have to cover everything. Your guaranteed income is going to cover part of it. So if you have social security and a pension that maybe covers 40,000 of 80,000, then your portfolio only has to produce the other 40,000. Guaranteed income can cut that requirement maybe in half. So the simple math to figure out a withdrawal rate that's going to hold up to retirement. You're going to figure out the guaranteed income to expense the gap. Add in a buffer for healthcare inflation, as that can change faster than any other expense, especially later in retirement. Next is to pick a rate that can last 30% longer, even if it's just for one of you. Apply the rate to the gap plus the healthcare buffer. And I want you to pressure test the withdrawal rate against bad early returns in retirement, which can also be called sequence of returns risk. And don't set it and forget it. You should revisit your withdrawal rate every 6 months and adjust expenses as needed, doing it sooner rather than later. A withdrawal rate is not a one time setting, it's a dial you should be adjusting as markets and spending move. That's several moving numbers, and the difference between 3, 4, or 5% against your gap is the difference between retiring now versus maybe working 3 more years or running out of money halfway through retirement. Know your safe withdrawal rate. Comment worksheet. I'll send you the full framework for identifying and adjusting your withdrawal rate during each phase of your retirement.